Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the J29F Swedish 8.7 battle rating rank 6. Fantastic little plane. Finally it comes into its power. It has missiles, it has a little bit better engine, and the performance becomes what it should be at this battle rating, and it is a perfect plane at this battle rating. I really like this plane. I had a lot of fun in it. Excellent energy fighter and boom and zoomer, and you have the missiles to help you out with shooting planes and getting people off course to get a shot at them. You also have the 4 cannons and some nice firepower and ammo loads to boot there. So yeah, this plane finally comes into its power, and that is really nice to see. A maximum speed of this plane at sea level is 955 without the afterburner and 1037 with the afterburner. At 4500 meters still go up to 765 without and 800 with, and finally at 6500 meters you can take her to 676 without and 705 with. Now those speeds are quite alright. It's not the fastest plane, but it's also not the slowest plane. It is cool. Now we have wasted both of our missiles here for an F9F that did move enough and he was paying attention. So now we're gonna have to go through this match with the guns only, and let's see what we can do. The dive speeds are very nice in this plane. The top speed in a dive is 1048 kilometers an hour, and the rip speed I have not found it. I have dove down from 9k and 10k, and I splashed into the ocean twice with 1100 plus, 1100 and 1105, so it doesn't really matter. You get enough drag on the plane to slow the acceleration down, and it's very difficult to rip this plane in a dive. I wasn't able to. Maybe if you make a lot of maneuvers in that lower end of the dive you will be able to snap some wings off, but if you keep her steady and just go straight down, you cannot rip this plane easily. I would say you can't at all. So you are quite safe there when it comes to the dive speed. She's very nice in a dive. The only thing is that there is compression. The control stiffening starts in the roll rate at 850 and becomes very quickly after that already quite severe at 950, and at 1000 the roll rate has stiffened up very much, and the elevator is actually worse than the roll rate, because the roll rate in most jets at high speed stays somewhere around average most of the time at the top ends of the dive until the plane either snaps or crashes into the ground or rips. But this one stiffens up very much in the elevator control, and yeah, it just makes you compress into the ground, which is also interesting. It's also something that can happen. So you have high compression in the elevator, which is even more damaging to your survivability, over 950. So once you get to around 900 and you're getting close to the ground, with the acceleration this plane has in a dive, which is very good, you have to start getting out of the dive because you will compress into the ground otherwise. Okay, so now stall speed is 90 kilometers an hour, and that is very competitive at this battle rating. She is very nice in the vertical, and she handles actually decently at low speeds. So yeah, awesome for stall maneuvers, although of course at this battle rating with the missiles you've got to be very careful with stall maneuvers, because you can get a missile up your butt even if you're in the great advantageous energy position. So there is that. The firepower is great in the plane. 4 20mm Akan M47C cannons with 180 rounds for each gun, and added to that 2 RB-24 missiles, which are the AIM-9Bs, which is fine at 8.7 battle rating. The 24 rocket option actually also is an option. You can go ground pounding in this plane. She can carry a load of 24 rockets, And if you want to go ground pounding or take her into ground RB, you can take her there, shoot off the rockets, and then you know, use it as a gunship, because she's quite good as a fighter, as you might already have noticed. The ammo loads are excellent with 180 rounds per gun. I quite like this. 2 missiles also fine. The acceleration in this plane is good in the straight line, and in a dive it's very good, especially in steeper dives. She handles that well. The slowing down does happen though in both situations. At a certain point, the drag starts to slow the acceleration down at a certain point. Energy retention in the horizontal is excellent. She really holds her speed well with the afterburner. Without the afterburner, much less good, but the afterburner on this engine is getting so good that you get excellent energy retention. The vertical energy retention is very good to great, where she can take you up very nicely to around 5,500 meters when you go from top speed in a straight line at sea level, and that is just awesome. Just awesome. Very good climb rate as well. Again, it's all with the afterburner. The afterburner really does well on this plane, gives it a nice performance boost. Turn time is not the strong point, but it's still decent. You start with above average turn time, and then if you deploy the flaps, you can take that to decent turn time. It still doesn't become good or anything, but it's alright. Flaps only rip off at 880, which is, well, that's quite decent. Of course, there's lots of speeds where you can rip her off, because in a straight line you can easily get to 880, especially on the lower altitudes. But 880 is not bad for the flap rippage, and you can most of the time safely deploy them in a dogfight. The roll rate is decent to good, quite nice, especially between 500 and 700 kilometers an hour. You get that sweet spot where it is good, and a little bit faster it becomes, of course, you get a little bit compression in the roll rate, so then it starts to be decent. And before 500 it is also decent. Overheating is not an issue in this plane. She handles very nicely. The afterburner is usable without any problems. Of course, when you're on a hotter map like Sicily or something, and you use the web from the start to climb, at a certain point you're gonna run into the amber, but it's easily controllable. Takes a long time, and she cools off very easily once you stop using web, so it is not an issue at all in this plane. Don't even really have to pay attention to it or manage it. Once you see that it's in the amber, you just let go of the web and it's gone in a few seconds. Durability in the plane is very good. This plane can take a lot of damage, and that is also something that is nice, especially from the guns. You know, the missiles, they are touch and go. When they hit, they usually kill you, as always, but you have those moments where she quits and stuff like that. But, this plane is short and stubby, and it feels sturdy, and once you get hit by the guns, by enemy planes, you can take a lot of damage and still fly, take you home, even damaged. And I quite like that part about the plane. I took some, quite a few times, I took a bit of damage here and there, and she always handled it well. Damage on the right wing, damage on the left wing, ripping stuff off, a wingtip, lost a wingtip at a certain point, still flying. So yeah, it felt very, very nice and sturdy. Overall, this plane is an energy fighter first, and boom and zoomer second. She can fulfill both roles very well, and then she is decent in the maneuvering department. The roll rate in that nice speed range where I'm in right now, between 5 and 700, is really nice, and she pulls enough elevator to make the defensive maneuvering very effective in this plane. So overshoots are very easy to make happen. She has a decent air brake, although it looks pathetic, very small, and it's definitely not the best in the world, but it's functioning. So look at the damage we got here. We're still very flying very easily, but it's equal damage, so Not complaining here. But this was also heavy damage at that point. Still handling like a queen. He's great at taking damage, as I said. But energy fighting, boom and zooming in this plane, very enjoyable, and good plane at the battle rating CZ. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here. We've got Final Blow, Survivor, Best Squad, Terror of the Sky, almost 100,000 Silver Lions and 12,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the J29F sits very nicely at a 8.7 battle rating, rank 6. He has the missiles. Okay, it's 9Bs, but it's missiles actually. What I didn't like about the D especially is that it's in the jet age, but it doesn't have missiles. And yeah, it's a premium and has close to the performance of this one. But missiles make a huge difference in the missile age. It's just that's just the way it is. This plane felt a little bit better to me in the performance. Maybe it has a little bit better engine than the D, but maybe it's not. I haven't checked that. And if that's not the case, if it has the same engine and performance, then probably it's just me flying more jets lately that makes the flight performance a little more in the capable hands. Well, that's always the case, right? The more you fly in a certain part of this game, the more you get expert at it. But with the missiles and the afterburner and the power this plane has, it feels good at 8.7. It sits at the right place for me, and a really nice start to rank 6 Sweden. I had a lot of fun at this plane. I think it is a good plane to fly, and much better than most of the rank 5 Swedish planes. Although there's a few planes in there now, especially now with Saabs added, that there is something there now as well. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.